The future of France hangs in balance. Parliamentarians are debating a vote of confidence against the Prime Minister, with a high-stakes vote slated afterwards. In fact, the Prime Minister was the first one to take the floor of the Assembly. He called it a moment of truth while pleading for debt reduction.
Cette épreuve de vérité.
This moment of truth, as the head of government, alongside the opinion of the President Macron, I wanted it. I wanted this moment. And some of you, probably most of you, the most sensible ones, thought it was unreasonable, that it was too big of a risk. But I think the exact opposite.
C'était déraisonnable, que c'était un trop grand risque.
The fate of the Prime Minister is at stake as the numbers are stacked against him. All major parties have announced to vote him out. He lacks the numbers in the National Assembly. His government is already functioning in minority to pass the confidence test. He needs the support of at least 76 members. The French Prime Minister can survive if some opposition parties walk out or 76 members from the opposition benches save the day for him. If the government falls, Macron will have two choices, basically, to call for the snap election or elect a new Prime Minister. Whatever choice he makes, the ramifications of the political crisis will be seen far beyond Paris if the lawmakers cannot figure out how to cut public spending and a massive budget deficit. France is on EU notice. It must drag the budget deficit below 3%. That now stands at a sprawling 5.8%. And to cut this down, the government has proposed 44 billion euros budget cut plan, and this includes reducing the number of public holidays and placing a freeze on spending increases. The Prime Minister says it's not his own future, but the destiny of France at stake. The political and economic crisis is likely to deepen in France. The supporters of France's Block Everything movement have been preparing for their day of action on September 10. They have vowed to shut down the country. Their online call to protest, echoing the Yellow Vests uprising of 2018, grassroots revolt that began over fuel taxes and ballooned into a nationwide uprising. The potential for the ongoing political stalemate threatens Macron's presidency as well. His term ends in 2027 and he has vowed to complete it. But the looming street showdown political crisis, coupled with economic challenges, forming a perfect storm against him. And with us on the broadcast this minute is our correspondent, Ross Cullen. Let's just piece together how significant this moment really is for the country, because the ramifications of what happens here onwards will be felt across the country. Also a huge test for Macron himself.
Yes, for Emmanuel Macron himself, he's likely to have to appoint his fifth Prime Minister in just 2 years. We had this situation in December last year when the Prime Minister at the time, Michel Barnier, was ousted when the far left and the far right came together. They joined forces in opposition to be able to vote out the Prime Minister. 9 months later, it is the same situation. The far left and the far right have said that they will be voting in the same way, which is to eject the government from power. This is a vote of confidence the Prime Minister has called in himself. He's saying that the situation is at crisis levels. France has a budget deficit to deal with. France has a huge national debt also to be addressed. France must take the economic medicine that he and his government is prescribing, but there has been no support at all for those budget policy measures among the opposition. They have all agreed. They will be voting him out this afternoon. In a couple of hours' time, MPs will be in the building. You can see behind me France's National Assembly casting their votes, and it is very unlikely that the Prime Minister will survive. And so this evening he will be very likely to tender his resignation, although he will remain in post in a caretaker position for the moment. And then there's all eyes on the Élysée Palace, where the President Emmanuel Macron will have to appoint a new Prime Minister. Now, the Prime Minister himself currently has given what is likely to be his departure speech, and then all of the different leaders of the political parties are able to make their speeches in response. We've heard from the Greens, who are calling for a Prime Minister from the left wing to be appointed. We've heard from the Conservatives, who say that France needs to compromise with a coalition, bringing together people from different political forces. So far, there's been no real coalition at all that's been able to be forged between different political ideologies in any recent memory here in France. We're also likely to hear from the far right as well, from the National Rally, which is the biggest single party in Parliament. So a major day for French politics, with the ramifications that will be going on long beyond today. But we could well have the same situation that we had in December, which is the ousting of a Prime Minister by the opposition.
Not the kind of deja vu that the people on the ground would want to feel. We're leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.